Okay, excellent. Hey, Rifters, welcome to the show. Subscriber review, tell a friend. This is a good time to uh, subscribe. And if you like this episode, please take a second and go on Apple Podcasts and write a review and rate it however you feel. If it's great, just say great. If you feel that there's needs to improve, just give me some examples on how to improve. I'm really about trying to improve as an interviewer and as an artist. Don't say, oh, Keith sucks. Say why I suck. Say, oh, Keith sucks because he's so annoying. That's then I could improve, right? I could just try not talking. That would be a great interview. Not talk to the guest. You know? Anyways, we got a great show. I'm very excited. I've been trying to get this guest for a couple years now, and I finally got her. I'm like that old fisherman. I go fishing when all the young fellas are out. You know, that's a bad analogy. I apologize. It was funny in my head. Anyways, you've seen her in Mutant X. You've seen her in Saw 6. You've seen her in Thanksgiving. The great Karen Cliche is going to be here via Zoom and is going to rock and roll. I look handsome today, and that's all that matters. Got the Prince Charming hair. Anyways, check out the website www.keithreza.com for shows and all that stuff. We're trying to get that updated by 2026. That will be the thing, you know. So yeah. Or you could just follow me on Instagram, Keith Reza, and follow the backup account, Keith Reza, in case my Instagram gets plugged again. But anyways, I'm super excited for this interview, and I really feel you guys are going to enjoy it. So sit back, get some popcorn, drink a cappuccino, listen to Reza Riffs with Karen Cliche. Coming up!
From Hollywood, California, welcome to Razor Riffs with your host, Keith Reza.
Hey, Karen Cliche, how are you?
Hey, how are you?
Doing good. How are you?
Good. Yeah. Where are you in the world?
I'm in Huntington Beach, California, which is about 30 miles away from Los Angeles.
Nice. Nice.
Uh,
Want to
uh,
switch? It's already getting cold here in Canada.
oh, you're in Canada?
I
What part?
well, now I'm in Ottawa, so our nation's capital,
Oh, nice.
which is like kind of halfway between Ottawa and Toronto-ish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love Canada. I love the Yuck Yucks, the comedy club.
Yeah.
Yeah. I do comedy.
Do you? Oh my God. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. There's
yeah.
that and absolute comedy up here. So you should come do a show.
Oh, definitely, definitely. I could do a show and then I could be like, "Hey, we'll do a live podcast and then we'll bring you up."
Two birds with one stone. You're a smart man.
Ah, that, that's such a like an interesting saying when people say, "I've killed two birds with one stone." You know what I
That's
mean?
pretty close. Yeah.
I've never gone bird killing, but whenever whenever I go, I think I'd use a gun and not a stone.
Yeah, well, maybe we should bring it back. I don't know.
uh,
Oh
like,
God.
like the guy who invented that saying, he's like, I kill birds with stones. You're like, okay,
Well,
it
you know what?
makes.
I think it's like all these sayings come from medieval
Mm.
times where things were a little barbaric. So, do you know what I mean? Sometimes we just say it like Ring Around the Rosie, isn't that kind of like a weird kid song that comes from something like some the plague or something back in the day? There's
Oh yeah,
yeah, yeah.
yeah. That's so crazy. I don't know if I could survive in the medieval times. Do you think you could?
Fuck no. Can I swear on this?
Oh
No.
yeah, yeah,
I'm too bougie for the medieval times.
yeah.
No, no,
Uh,
no, no, no. I like the comforts of civilized living.
yeah. Like if I was in the medieval times, I think like I'd just be like an outlaw or something because like what's the point? You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, no, it's not appealing to me at all.
Oh, all right. Well, thank you so much for doing this. I've been trying to get you for a year, so it's an honor to actually have you and stuff.
Thank you. Yeah, I know it was quite busy there for the last 4 months. Was insane. Sold a house, moved, was traveling between Toronto and the East Coast shooting stuff. So now the dust is settled. Here I am. Let's do
Yeah.
this.
It's awesome though. Being busy is great. That, because we had this pandemic, so like stuff probably wasn't busy for a while.
No, well, you know what's interesting is I took a long break from the business to raise my daughter, over a decade, really. And so I came back during the pandemic.
Oh, did you? Oh,
Yeah,
nice.
so it was like 2021, I think, when I called up my agents and I said, "Do you think anybody still wants me?" And I just wanted to give it another one last go now that my daughter was older and I was just like dying to come back. I was doing little things here and there, a couple offers that would come along and a lot of voice work. So I was still dipped my toe a little bit in the business. But yeah, so for me, I came back during COVID. It was super, actually quite busy, which was really strange.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, not that I worked the first year that I came back. It needed some, it was a slow go. But then kind of slowly took off and then Thanksgiving happened and then it's been great since then, but it was a bit of a rocky start. I was like, no one wants this mid 40s
And,
lady
and
anymore.
and when you say Thanksgiving, you mean the movie, not the
Yeah.
holiday. Okay, excellent.
Yeah. Yeah.
So when you called your agent, I just have to ask, did you say, "Hey, by the way, are you still my agent?" Or like,
Yeah. My yeah, I had to like say, do you still want me is basically what I was saying. No, but we had always been they knew that I was on a pause, undetermined
yeah,
amount of time. So thankfully it was absolutely let's try this, But so much had changed in the business when I came back. When I left the business, there was no Instagram,
yeah,
really.
definitely.
So when I came back, it was like, oh, I gotta get my Instagram going. I gotta get followers. Because this shit matters now, right? So a lot of adjustments, and yeah, there was just the business had changed, and then with self tapes, it was so different too, right? It was all self tapes.
I hate self tapes. I
Do
can't
you?
do it.
Are
Oh
you an
yeah.
actor as well?
I'm the worst actor you'll ever talk to, Karen. But yeah, I'm yeah.
Well, I'm a great coach, so I accept this challenge.
Oh, well, no, you know what it is because I do stand-up comedy, and the reason why I started stand-up is because I wanted to do, like, I want to be, oh, hey, you want to do my movie? I wanted it like that, and then when I started auditioning and stuff, I have Asperger's syndrome, so like, I'm very uncomfortable with like working with people who I don't know. I prefer to work by myself and just let it flow. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
So that's why whenever I do like some movies or whatever, I'm really bad at it because I'm used to just improvising or doing it like that. And directors and especially writers, if they wrote the script, they don't like that. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like it's no diss to it, but it's just my heart's not really into acting. And I told my agent that, I had that same thing with you, like, hey, I don't know if you're still my agent or not, but I just want to do comedy. And they kind of dropped me on it after I like kind of made it clear, but it was like you gotta go where your heart goes. You know what I mean?
Totally. This business, not everybody's made for it. And like for the last, 4 or 5 years, I've been teaching acting and coaching. And so I really get this other perspective of it. And I get to see so many other people's journeys because, when you're an actor and that's all you do, you only know your journey, right? You
Yeah.
only know your personal experience with this. You see everything on the outside, but this and going through and building people and them and getting actually really good, learning self-confidence and start booking. It's so rewarding. But there are some times where you're just like, this person's just not meant to do this. I feel like everybody can get better. I've seen
Right.
everybody improve. You can get better, but it's not everybody that, first of all, has the, mental health issues that us actors have by being in this business. That's 99% rejection and
Oh yeah, yeah.
unstable. Like, we're all a bit nuts to do this for sure. So there's some people who are not cut out for that reason. But yeah, it's a tough business, but you go where your heart goes, right? Like you have to, especially as you get older. I don't know how old you are, but I definitely know that the older I get, there's one thing that's undeniable is that life and your body physically just does not let you get away with being inauthentic. So the older you get, when you're young, you can kind of fake stuff and you can
Yeah.
push feelings down. But man, as you get older, it's like life goes, nope.
Yeah.
No, we're gonna show you that you need to follow your heart and be true. So
Well, it's kind of like, because I'm at that age where it's like I'm kind of all out of
Mhm.
fucks. Like it's like I'm just
Yeah.
gonna because I don't want to be a people person. You know what I mean? I want to be. I feel the best important thing in life is just to make me happy. Because in the end, that might sound selfish, but in the end, that's I'm in control of Keith Reza. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, if you're not happy, you're not going to be happy with anybody.
Exactly.
So I get what you mean about it sounding selfish. That's a big reason why I stopped working to be with my daughter because I felt like it's going to be so selfish if I have a career, especially
Yeah.
one that was demanding like mine was, especially in my 20s when I was doing leads on series and I was gone for 9 months of the year. I was like, I can't do this. So I was so afraid of being selfish too, but now is my time. I really
Yeah.
feel like now is my time because it was hard, right? It's hard losing yourself and all that stuff. But yeah, I'm getting it back. Wow, I feel like just bear with me. I just take this interview wherever my mind takes me.
Oh no, these are the best interviews because like it's I find the podcasts a lot better than panels because when you do a panel, it's only 8 minutes and it's usually about the movie and it's not really about Karen. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like that where like I like interviewing people like that because the movies are great and stuff, but I think what's more importantly is like knowing who you are because I feel when people actually know who you are, they'll support you forever. You know what I
Mhm.
mean?
Yeah, and I've always loved, first of all, I just kind of always been someone who has no boundaries or filters. So I just, I'll tell a stranger my life story. I just see us all as humans first, which is really
Yeah.
weird. So I have no guard up, which I should probably a little bit more, but I really love conversations and human relations. So anytime I do these interviews, it's not like I'm like, okay, let's talk about me. This is so, it's not my ego talking. It really is like, this is so great to, share life stories and perspectives, and so I really enjoy it.
When you do other podcasts, is like, do you get uh irritated when they ask the same questions? Because sometimes it's kind of hard not to, like Thanksgiving, that's a big part of your life. So I'm sure I'll have a couple Thanksgiving questions, but like I'll try and twist it in a way where you haven't heard it before. But does it like, it's like it's just repeating the same answer type thing?
Not really.
Yeah.
Not really. It's okay because I understand. You know what I mean? Like I understand that they have it's I have to treat everything like it's the first time. I may have said this 1,000 times, but maybe a listener hasn't heard it before. The interviewer hasn't heard it before. So I really try to see it from that perspective. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh, that's
Fine.
awesome.
Yeah.
So I wanted to ask you about your first film that you did, and I gotta be honest with you, Karen. I've never seen this, but I thought it was kind of funny when I was looking into it. You did a movie called Collectors with Rick Fox, who was like a basketball player, and so like this is kind of funny because we were talking about how acting and stuff, and then like a basketball player turns into an actor. So like, how was that? Like that. How was that? You know what I mean?
Well, it's so funny because I'm so not a sports girl. So I knew that so it was Casper Van Dien and Rick Fox.
Right. Yeah.
And I think at the time all I knew was that Rick was married to Vanessa
Williams. Yeah.
Williams or had been or whatever. So I knew Vanessa, not personally, but I knew of her. So I was more like, oh my God, Vanessa Williams, right? And my girl brain was like, this is so cool. So I didn't care or know at all anything about Rick, but he was so nice. Casper was really, really nice. I mean, I had 6 lines. It was a receptionist at some building and I interacted with the two of them. So it was great. Like we all start with our little few liners, but they were great. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I see, like if I was in that movie, I'd just be like, Rick, why'd you miss that three last night? You know what I mean? Like that's how I kind of like yeah.
yeah, he was safe with me. I treated him like a normal person because to me he was. I had no idea who he was.
So and then like we could jump in the tunnel where you were directed by Daniel Baldwin and your character, this is really funny, woman on train.
Mm.
Like did you
Didn't
ever
even have any lines.
did you ever say, "Hey, I want to give my character a name?" Because like when I audition for people that says like oh, Ghost One or Ghost Two. It's like, why can't we just give these people names? You know what I mean?
It was a glorified extra, I guess, right? And again, what was that? Maybe my fourth job. So, I mean, I was 20 years old. I was like, I'll just take what I can get. I don't care, right? So, yeah, I knew that we actually filmed this on a train. I was living in Montreal at the time, so we filmed it from Montreal to I think Quebec City and then back. So it was literally we were on a train filming it, doing the whole route. I think they had like saved a couple cars for us. So I was actually a woman on a train. Like for real.
Yeah. I just I mean, I met Daniel Baldwin once at a show, and he came up to me and he's like buying my merch because his son has autism, so like he was buying my merch and
Mm,
stuff. And I sell like a lot of stuff because I have autism, so I sell stuff for autism. That's
mhm.
not the point. So he bought it all, right? And then I looked at him, I was like, oh, has anyone ever told you you look like Alec Baldwin? And he's like, "Oh no, my name's Daniel, but I'm a Baldwin." And then I was like, "Oh, has anyone ever told you you have the same last name as Alec Baldwin?"
Oh my
And
God.
I, like I had no idea.
Just
Alec,
keep digging your hole.
I was just digging my hole. I mean, I'm not gonna be in tunnel two. That was the point.
Oh man, you could have been man on train.
I know. I would have been like, "Oh, that would have been
Missed
great."
it. You missed your opportunity. Well, it's so funny because I worked with Stephen Baldwin a few years after that. I
Yeah.
don't remember on what, but I worked with him. Oh, it was with Peter Gallagher. It was a movie with Peter Gallagher and him. And again, I think I had like three scenes. But
Oh,
so then I worked with Stephen Baldwin and he actually like put me on the phone with Haley,
yeah.
who like now I buy her makeup line, but I'm like, oh my God, like he was just because Steven's like really outgoing and just like crazy, right? So he was just like I talked to little baby Haley on the phone. Little did I know, cut to what, 25 years later, I'm buying her road
Oh,
skincare. Anyway,
You
yeah,
you
that's
should
my
have kept in touch with Haley, right? Like she's like a big famous
hit me up with some of that makeup, girl. And then
uh
I did, well, one of my first movies was filmed in Australia and Hong Kong, and that was with Adam Baldwin, who was not a Baldwin, but not
yeah,
the brothers, but Adam. Yeah, that was one of my first kind of bigger movies, but yeah.
yeah.
Anyway.
I wanted to ask you about made for TV movies because like for whatever reason like back in the day made for TV movies like they couldn't have a budget to get a theatrical release or something like that so they go on the TV but now and I don't know if the pandemic played a part in this but now a lot of films go straight to streaming so in a way that those are made for TV movies but they still get the same audience so like it's kind of like reverse how like they're coming back in a cool way, you know?
Yeah, not so cool for us actors who want residuals because we don't see.
Right. Yeah.
So I hate that, right? And that's what both SAG and my ACTRA, our unions, are trying to find a way to be able to track all this. You can't track the views. You can't get paid per view. So it's really tricky. It's changed a lot in our business, right? Whereas before with syndicated TV, which is what I did a lot of TV series that were syndicated. So that was trackable, right? Every
Yeah.
sale around the world, you'd get a check. But now it's just different. So it's actually harder to make money now as an actor than it was when I first started, which is so frustrating because you're like, my God, I've been in this business 30 years and I'm making less than I did when I didn't
Yeah.
make that money, you know? So it's the business has totally changed. And like that's why there are all these strikes because people are trying to figure out how to get paid, how to make money, how to, it's really it's kind of the wild, wild west right now with streaming.
Do you think that like I mean maybe this is in like 20 or 30 years, but do you think in the future money will have no real value?
This is a very sci-fi discussion.
Yeah.
Uh, I don't know. How would that work? What would be what would, like, what would,
Well, I guess what I'm trying to say is like 20 years ago, $20 was like $100.
Mhm,
And today, $20 is $100. Does that make sense?
mhm. Yeah.
So so it's like I feel the longer we live, in 20 years, $100 will be like $20, where like it's nothing. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, I definitely think there's, I mean, with Bitcoin and all that stuff happening, right? There's a lot of probably going to be different types of currencies for transactions. You know what I mean? It's just
Yeah,
who knows, but let's
yeah.
touch base in 20 years and
Oh, well, no, we're going to talk every day. We're best friends
oh,
now.
we're besties. Cool.
Yeah, yeah. I wanted to ask you about being on the TV because you were on Mutant X and then you were on Adventure and then you were on the Vampire Show. But and it was kind of like all in the same time frame. Like, did you get in trouble doing that, or was the series canceled and then you jumped on the next one? Because
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, no. So Vampire High was my first series. Then then I got Adventure Inc. and then I got Mutant X and then I got Young Blades and then I got Flash Gordon. So they were all consecutive. At one point I was like, I think I'm a series killer because every series I was on, it never went more than one season, or I'd come on season three and that was it. I was like, oh my God, I think I'm the problem. Is it me? Um,
and they'd be like, "No, it's the writing."
Exactly. It's not me. It's not me. It's you. So no, there was never any overlap, but it was definitely a busy time. I was so fortunate to be working kind of every year, more or less. You know, I definitely, and back then we were doing 22, 26 episodes. So when you got a series lead, it was gold. Your year was done, you know, you
Yeah,
to work it all. Whereas, you know, we don't do those anymore. They're 8 episodes
yeah.
series. So yeah, it's different.
I was on a pilot and it got aired and it like really bombed and stuff. And the producer like it got canceled after the pilot. That's how bad it was. The producer's like, "Yeah, we didn't get good numbers." And like, I'm thinking, "Oh, is it because I'm a terrible actor?" Which, we know I am. They're like, "There's a big Laker game that night." I was like, "Oh yeah, it was a Laker game." You know what I mean? So like it's mind fucking me thinking that that's the reason when the truth is I'm just a shitty actor.
No.
You know what I
Now
mean?
it was because of the Lakers game. Okay, Keith.
Well, no, but it's like they make all these excuses to try and it's like I'm more of I just want to know the truth. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like, did you have that there? It was like, okay, I could always find another job, but just be honest. You know what I mean?
I knew it wasn't me.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds really arrogant. Maybe I'm in denial. Um, let's just say some of the shows weren't great.
Right.
So I totally understand why they didn't get picked up. They were a little bit, there was a little cheese factor sometimes to a few of them. But yeah, no, yeah, I was just like, I just hoped that no one else was going to be like the fans weren't going to start saying that I was a serious killer. I was like, I
Oh
can
no, no,
make jokes
yeah.
about myself, but I don't want people getting on that bandwagon. But
I
yeah,
thought you were the best on Mutant X because I watched that show and I was like, oh my God, like
and you
that.
said that to all the mutants.
No, no, you're the first mutant I've interviewed. So like, but no, because that's my type of show. You know what I mean? This is
Mhm.
before like superheroes got crazy. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
now everything's like it was kind of unique. You know what I mean? So I
I
liked that.
loved doing that show. It was such a great, the cast was amazing. And you know what's funny is I just worked with Victor, who played Brennan, right? Who was
Yeah,
one of the mutants. Hadn't seen him in like 23 years. So we were just in Newfoundland on the East Coast doing an episode of a show. And he DMs me, and I hadn't, again, had not spoken to him in 23 years. And he's like, so looks like we're going to be working together. I'm like, oh my God, are you on this show? And he's like, yes. I'm like, oh my God. So we just hung out for like the past 2 weeks, had
yeah,
the best reunion, the best time. It was so good and just reminiscing about the show and old times. But yeah, it
uh,
was really nice. It was a special show. Definitely something that I'm like probably most known for. So there's
yeah.
that. It really helped my career in a lot of ways. But yeah, I loved it. I loved my character, Alexa.
Oh yeah, your character was
Yeah.
great.
Tough girl
Uh,
with a heart of gold.
did your significant other get upset that he was in your DMs? Like,
No,
uh,
no. Just you know, trust is the basis of a relationship.
oh yeah, for sure. Like
Right?
my significant other, whenever she sees someone who's in my DM, she'd be like, oh, who's this girl? And then like, yeah, I'm just honest. I was like, oh, this is the girl I'm trying to sleep with behind your back. Yeah.
Oh, you. I'm gonna talk after. I gotta tell you what not to say.
Oh, okay, okay, yeah. Uh, but let's jump into Saw 6 because Saw, like, I'm a huge Saw fan. You know, I like the movies. I think they're very entertaining and stuff. And you survived a trap, and like, let's be honest, there's no reason for you to be tested or whatever because it was all what's his name's test, and he saved you. So like, did you ever think like when you were making that movie, like, what if he doesn't choose you, or did you know he was gonna choose you?
Yeah, we knew. We knew in advance.
Oh, that's so awesome.
I knew I'm a survivor. I knew. So, I knew what was happening to everybody on the carousel. So it was me, and actually we're still friends to this day, very good friends, Larissa, the other girl who survived. And what's ironic, little tidbit, remember the girl, there was a girl, so Melanie Scrofano, she was again, we don't know if lying every time we were like screaming and pleading for our life, I think I was saying something about my parents.
Right.
We don't know if it's a lie or not, right? We don't know. But she was saying that she was pregnant. And he's like, I don't care, whatever. Anyway, so he kills her. But I was actually in real life pregnant on that show, on that movie.
Oh, whoa.
So when we were spinning around on that carousel, I had just found out that I was pregnant like a week or two before. And so when she was screaming, I'm pregnant, I was like, I think I should be saying this. But yeah, I was actually like, so imagine like, I don't know if you know anything about the early days of pregnancy, but there's a little nausea that goes around. So spinning on a carousel
It's
while
not good.
having
Yeah.
fake blood and guts thrown at your face is not ideal, but I made it. I survived that too in real life.
Yeah. I found out what I found out what morning sickness was at a young age because like I'd go to school and I'd always like because I was so smart at school that like I didn't really learn anything. All I wanted to do was like write or go watch movies and stuff. So I ditched school and I'd have to like forge a note and then I'd be like, "Oh, please excuse Keith, he had morning sickness." And
No.
yeah. And because I heard someone just say, "Hey, say yeah, morning sickness." So I did that, and then they looked at me like I was an idiot.
Oh my God. They knew you were lying.
Oh, for sure. But like I was like all confident. I was like, "Oh, that morning sickness got to me." And they were just like that.
Wow.
Then I found out what it was, and I felt like
That's hilarious. That is so
uh, be glad that you had a girl and not a boy because like I was a little troublemaker. You know what I mean?
Oh, well, girls are really fun as teenagers.
Are they? Yeah.
So
Oh no, I just
moving
yeah.
on.
I think everyone is a little troublemaker when they're kids though. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't really matter what you
It
have.
depends. I feel like the ones who were so perfect when they were young turn out to be have like maybe issues later on because they maybe tried to be so perfect as kids. I don't know. But sometimes I feel like the little rebels as kids turn out to be kind of like okay teenagers, because they let
Yeah.
their systems. I don't know. I don't know. I think it was kind of the case with me too. Like between my sister and I was the youngest, she was the oldest. She was very like rigid and very like, oldest and controlling. And then growing up, and I was kind of like the artsy one. I was like, oh, I forgot my keys today. Or I would mouth off a little bit or whatever. And then as a teenager, I feel like I had gotten so much out of my system that I was fine. Like I didn't freak out. And she kind of went cuckoo, right? So it's like,
Yeah.
yeah, I think that, yeah, the moral of the story is let your crazy out, just like let it seep out your whole life so that it doesn't build up and explode. I'm full of really wise advice today. Just, I hope you're taking notes.
Oh no, this is great. I was gonna say, and another thing is like just make mistakes growing up because it's gonna be a great podcast stories.
Absolutely. Exactly. That's the only reason why I make mistakes, so I can tell the stories later on future shows.
And then let's jump into Thanksgiving, which is a movie that you said has really like embraced, got you back on top and stuff. So like, what was that like? Because that's a pretty that's a movie that's probably going to go in the direction of the Saws and the It's, where there's going to be sequels and stuff, and you may not come back, but you might come back in flashbacks. But you also had like the coolest death in a way.
I did. And I don't know if you've heard this because I've said this a couple times on some podcasts,
Uh huh.
and some horror conventions. But so first of all, the experience was amazing. Working with Eli's incredible. He's become a good friend, and I've done a couple of his projects afterwards. I'm in his next movie, that's going to come out in the spring. Um, so Thanksgiving originally, when we shot it, let's say March and April of whatever year, 2023. We shot that. My character, the last time you saw Kathleen was at the parade. We get darted and tranquilized, and then cut to many scenes later, I'm served up on the table. So you
Right.
never see that. It was not written or originally shot. That whole chase, the whole burning alive in the oven was not shot. It was in the summer after doing some ADR, right? When we do our voiceovers for the movie. Eli texted me, and I just get this ding. And I look at my phone and it says, "Are you ready for more?" And I'm like, "More what?" Like, of course, I'm a desperate actor. I was like, "Yes, like, I'm available. Absolutely, I'm available. Like, I'll do anything." And so he's like, "Here's what I'm thinking." He's like, "I want to write the whole cat and mouse chase scene, basting." And then he's just describing it. And I was going, "Oh my God." And he's like, "And then you like screaming, roasting in the oven." I was like, "Sure." He's like, "Let me pitch it to Sony. I'll get back to you." 2 weeks later, he's like, "We're on." And then we shot it. So all of that, the pitchfork, the running, that was not, so that was like a 4-day shoot that we did in August and then
Yeah.
got released in November. Isn't that crazy? So that originally wasn't there. It changed my life having those scenes shot
Yeah.
in there.
Yeah.
It's really
You,
fun.
if he never texted you, probably could have been in the sequel, right?
No, I always died. I mean,
Oh, you always
I
died.
always ended
Okay.
up with the turkey. Okay. Okay. I was always that, but it gave me a really good opportunity to just like challenge myself as an actor. So that was
Yeah.
fun, right? To really sell that being burned alive, like, and it was really great. It was a really, really cool experience. And
Were
they
you?
are doing a Thanksgiving too, just so you know.
Oh yeah. I figured they would. Were you like were you hot in that oven like, or was it just like, because it seems like a small space like that would just burn you alive, you know?
It was a real oven, so it was a real industrial oven. So there was no comfort for me. Like there was no, I was literally on the grates. There was no pillow for me, so my head was like black and blue for about a week after. I could not sleep on the back of my head because I was like thrashing around on it, right? And then to get in and out, I mean, it was probably this high.
Yeah.
So I had to, like slither like a little snake, suck in my stomach, and then slither back. And then at some time there was always like one panel that was open because sometimes if the top panel was open, they'd have the camera on top. But at one point they had to do a wide POV,
Uh-huh.
and everything was closed and everyone was just like thinking of, I'm not claustrophobic, but it was a little bit like, whew, I had moments where I was like, thank God I'm not. But even at that point, it was very small, but it wasn't hot.
Yeah.
I mean, it got a little hot, but it wasn't like, it was all my acting that sold the heat, Keith.
That's great then. Then job well done, right?
Thank you.
Yeah. I was wondering, can you talk about the rate pacemakers right now, or race makers? Is
Oh,
that what
race
it's?
walkers.
Race walkers, yeah. Can you talk about that
Yeah,
yet, or is
yeah,
that
that's fun.
okay? So like that's a totally different type of field, that you used to do early in your career, and now you're kind of back into the little comedy thing. So like, what's that adventure like for you? Where like you've done horror now mostly, and now you're back in comedy. Like how that transition, is that easy for you to do now?
Oh yeah, it's my
Yeah.
first love. Like comedy is my first love. I did a lot of comedies when I first started out. I mean, I was, in drama class all through high school, was all about improv and like comedy. And it's my favorite genre. I think I'm quite good at it. Um, but then, eventually get typecast, right? Because of my look, I mean, I look like a bitch, right? So it's just like perfect casting. Let's just, so I kind of got typecast as in those roles, which, I think I do well, is also because I understand these characters that I was playing, these tough girls
Yeah.
that built up this shell, built up this tough girl attitude as a protection, right? So I feel like I always kind of brought like a different layer, or hopefully like a reason for them being that way and some heart there. And sometimes some humor. Like I always tried with my bitchy characters to have a little bit of humor in there because that's just kind of my default personality. I love laughing and I love making jokes. So Race Walkers was so fun because I mean it was only a few scenes. I played a reporter in it who reports on all the race walking, and it was one of the funniest scripts I've ever read. I was laughing out loud. I don't typically enjoy reading scripts, to be very honest.
Oh yeah.
I don't. But this one I was like, wow, I was like, ha, because comedy is my favorite. So I was like reading and I just loved it. And we did a lot of improv on that movie, and it was just great. It's doing the festival circuit right now, and I can't wait for people to see it. Not because I'm in it. I mean, I love
Yeah, yeah.
it, but it's so funny. And it's
I,
it's a heartfelt movie too, so it's really cute.
those are my favorite types. Like I like because I also really like romantic comedy because I feel like that's the best truth comedy in an illusion where like for example, let's be honest, people don't really fall in love in 90 minutes. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
they give you the illusion that could happen, but the humor is really, really funny because it's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
know.
there's some really good ones there. I like those too. Are you
Yeah.
romantic, Keith? Are
Am
you
I a romantic? Oh my gosh. I mean, I am the John Cusack of stand-up comedy.
Oh, should I
So,
ask your significant? Is she here? Should I ask her if you're romantic? Yeah.
uh, no, she'll probably say I'm, no, I don't know. I mean, I'm
Oh,
not romantic, but it's kind of like, we kind of get each other. You know
yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
so that's kind of where it's like there. You know what I mean?
But here's and that's what I love because for me, romantic, there's so many ways to be romantic. I, as a girl, like I've always kind of resented the typical romance that's thrown at us, and I'm like, because that's not what I like. Rose petals on a bed, chocolate covered strawberry. Ugh, I find that so cheesy. I hate that.
Yeah.
Even like when I got married, I'm separated now, but when I got married, I was like barefoot. It was in my backyard. I was wearing like a green dress. It was very chill, very fun. I don't believe in the whole like cheesy performance of it, but so everybody's version of romance is different, like mine is so I think that that's great. You guys probably have your own. What's romantic to you too
Yeah.
is your own little thing, and that's romance, right? But it's
Yeah.
I just wish there was more versions of romance out there rather than the typical Hollywood romance. You know what I mean? It's not
That
everything's like that.
That's what I was saying too. Like it's like because that it doesn't, it doesn't happen like that. It's more like, it's kind of like I don't know, it's kind of like if you're like at a zoo and you see a lion, you know what I mean? Like you're like, "Ah, do I want to touch this lion or do I want to learn everything about lions?" You,
Mm-hmm.
you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
That's a really bad example.
After we log off, I'm going to still be thinking about that. Lion, do I want to touch the lion? You're going to keep me thinking about this freaking analogy,
I
and I
apologize.
still won't get it, but I'll get back to
I apologize, Karen. I'm sorry. Uh,
you. Yeah, the lion. I was thinking-
whoa, you have a cat. Holy Lord, it just jumped
I
up.
have two. Hey, he
Uh,
knew we were talking about his distant cousin, the lion. Hey, Ray,
uh,
you're making an appearance.
all right.
Oh my
Uh,
God, I have to take a picture of this. One second.
oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
Ray.
Oh,
Okay,
all right. Tag me on that
I
story.
will.
I'll restory it or whatever it's called, retweet. All right. So Karen, I have three more questions. I want to respect your time, but this is more. These segments are more about who Karen is and not really the actor or the career. So, one, I notice you have a couple tattoos. Can you like explain the meaning of them or like?
Yeah, I have what am I at? Four, five, six now. I have six. I have to be strategic about where I put them because as an actor, you don't want to spend 4 hours in the
Hmm,
chair. I need
right.
I need Rain to have his moment here. So my first one I got when I was 18. It was just a cute little blue daisy. And that's what my company is called to this day, Blue Daisy Productions. It was just my little cute rebellion. I was like, I'm gonna get a tattoo. I'm a badass and cute little flower on my ankle. Uh, I also got a belly ring that same day, so I am cool. Okay.
Nice.
And yeah, so I have one that is like a little fleur de lis because I'm French Canadian. So it's a little testament to my culture, French Canadian, which always reminds me to be joyous and fun and laugh. The other one is a little whale for my daughter. She was made in Maui, as we say, wink wink, you know what I mean?
Okay. Yeah.
So and I love whales as I love elephants, so I just kind of have that's a little homage to her. And then No Dress Rehearsal is a lyric from a song by the Tragically Hip. Obviously a little nod to my acting career, but also really just how I feel about life. We have got one shot at this life. It's not a dress rehearsal, so just make sure you're doing everything that you want to do. Right, and just take those risks and be courageous in your life to fulfill your soul's purpose.
Yeah.
And the last one, oh, I got a little star this summer on my ankle, my other ankle, and then this here says anything can happen, and that just can mean two things. Obviously, we all know anything can happen, but it's a little reminder that anything can happen bad, anything can happen good. I can get hit by a
Yeah.
bus tomorrow. I can win, I can book the biggest movie of my life tomorrow. And it just always kind of keeps me hopeful on one side.
Yeah.
So very grateful for the present moment on the other side. So,
Well, anything could happen. I mean, you could be interviewed by your next soulmate, right?
oh, yeah, yeah. Get this girlfriend beside you. Now that is two faux pas you've made now, Keith. You're in big trouble. If I hear three, we're gonna talk. I'm gonna slide into your DMs. But yes, anything can happen,
All
right?
right. Uh, no, I have three. I have an archangel for my friend. He was my best friend. He passed, and he
Mm.
co-hosted this podcast with me for a while. And then I have one on my wrist. It was for my grandfather. And then I have one right here. It was for the my. He was my best friend too, but I toured with Norm Macdonald for 9 years. So, that's kind of how. So
Oh,
I think tattoos are very sentimental. You know what I mean?
me too.
All right. So second to last question, because I want to respect your time, Karen, and then I want to slide in those DMs. Uh, but if you were an ice cream flavor, right? And you were like the brand of the Ben and Jerry's or something, and you could have your own ice cream
Mm.
named whatever you want, what would it be and what would you call it?
I would call it not cliche.
Uh,
Because well, obviously it's a joke because my name is Cliche, but everyone always puts an accent on it and everyone thinks it's cliche. And everyone thinks I changed my name to make it cliche. I'm like, my God, why of all the names, like I would Karen Cliche. Yeah, okay. So it would be called Not Cliche. Um, and if I was not so tired, I could think of something really witty to say right now that would rhyme with cliche. That was a food. Get back to me, slide into my DMs and give me a suggestion.
yeah.
But no, I think it would have like definitely like brownie chunks, caramel swirls, toffee bits, vanilla base. It would be a little complicated. Not that I'm complicated in a bad way, but I'm definitely not a typical person.
Right.
I have a lot of different sides to me that surprise people. So every bite you would take, you'd be like, oh my God, this is not a cliche ice cream. This is not a cliche. It's really unique, right? So that's my let's see if Ben and Jerry's goes for that idea.
But hey, I will start tweeting them right now. I'll do that.
Yay, thank you.
They don't follow me, but I'll try.
I'll give you 5% of the cut.
Oh, no, no. I would do it. I would do it for free because we're future soulmates.
I've recorded that. That is on the record, so you don't get any of my money, okay?
Okay,
Next
cool.
question.
Uh, so this is my last question for you. If you could go into a time machine and talk to a younger version of yourself, knowing everything you know now, and you only have 30 seconds, what would you tell yourself?
How young are we talking about?
It could be whatever you want.
Okay, so I would definitely say that now I'm, my last year of my 40s now, so I'm an old wise lady now. I would definitely tell my younger self to not care so much about what people think and not stop yourself from doing things in fear of what people think. That's a big one for a lot of people. I really envy those people that don't have that, that didn't have that growing up. But I feel like I would have been more ambitious. I would have been a lot more things that are truly what I want and who I am. But I felt like, oh, that looks arrogant, so I'm not going to do that. Oh, I'm
Right.
not going to wear too much makeup or dress the way I want to because I don't want anyone to think that I'm full of myself. Oh, I'm not going to do this. You know what I mean? It was just like from like money to career to I don't know, just everything. I just kind of downplayed it a little bit. Whereas now I feel like I'm in my era where I'm like, I'm just going to be me and I don't care if people don't like it. I really don't,
Yeah.
not sacrificing myself anymore for what other people think. So I wish I would have learned that earlier.
Oh, that's amazing.
Mm.
I thought for sure you're gonna say don't do crack or something.
Yeah, those were the best years of my life. I would never, I mean, anyway, moving on.
Uh, so Karen, where can the folks at home follow and support you? I know you got Instagram, but like,
Good.
website or
Yeah, so Instagram is my second home. So I'm not on Twitter, or I haven't been on in years. Facebook, I'm not on Facebook. I might do a coaching page on Facebook because I think that's kind of very. But I have my Karen Cliche Instagram verified, and then I have Karen Cliche Coaching. If anyone is interested in acting, whatever, that's where I kind of give a like my coaching business and my side stuff there. I also built a website all by myself last year. I'm so proud. KarenClicheCoaching.com. You can check that out if anyone's interested in some
cool.
coaching. But yeah, it's Instagram is where it's at.
All right, Karen. Well, thanks for talking to me,
Thank
and we'll talk later. I'll run up to Toronto and I'll take you on a date or something.
That's strike three.
All right, excellent.
We made it to strike three. Okay. We got it.
Uh,
And cut.
all right.
Thanks,
Well,
Keith. That was fun. Thank you so
uh,
much for asking
all
me.
all right. Have a great day, and we'll talk later. All right.
Absolutely. Okay, bye.
Bye. All right, guys. That was the interview. Subscribe, review. We'll see you guys next week on Reza Riffs.